Hello class, in this video we're gonna continue talking about different types of international arbitrage. We've discussed about the first two types in the first two videos for chapter 7, which are locational arbitrage and triangular arbitrage. So the third type here is covered interest arbitrage. It is defined as the process of capitalizing on the interest rate differential between two countries while covering your exchange rate risk with a forward contract. Okay, so for locational arbitrage, we were arbitraging between two banks or two or more financial institutions. And in triangular arbitrage, we were arbitraging between two foreign currencies and US currency. For covered interest arbitrage, we're arbitraging between two countries, okay? And at the same time, we would cover our exchange rate risk with a forward. So this arbitrage consists of two parts. The first part is interest arbitrage, the process of capitalizing on the difference between interest rates between two countries. The other part is called covered, or it is covering our exchange rate risk by hedging the position against interest rate risk. Realignment due to covered interest arbitrage causes market rate alignment, so the interest rates between two countries will come together at the same level. Timing of realignment may require several transactions before realignment is completed. Due to which arbitrage, market forces should realign the relationship between the interest rate differential of two currencies and the forward premium or discount on the forward exchange rate between the two currencies. So here we're going to choose covered interest arbitrage, not locational, not triangular, not forward realignment. Let's look at an example here so we could be better understanding the definition or covered interest arbitrage. For example, if we have UK pound, the spot rate is equivalent to 90-day forward rates, which is 1.6 US dollar, and US 90-day interest rate is 2%. UK 90-day interest rate is 4%. The investment amount is 800,000. What is the profit and what is the yield if we used covered interest arbitrage? Okay, so we see there's a difference in the interest rate between the two countries, US and UK. We have 800,000 capital in hand, okay, in US dollar. Okay, if you invest this capital in domestically in US, you would have a 2% interest rate. However, if you invest it in UK instead, okay, if you exchange your US dollar to UK pound and invest it in UK instead, you would have a higher interest rate as 4%. Okay, you would earn more. You would probably earn more by investing in the foreign country in UK. Okay, and after 90 days, after you take your money out, you still need to exchange the UK pound back to US dollar. Okay, so you need to exchange US dollar first to pound, invest in it, and when the time matures, you take the money out, exchange it back to US dollar. Okay, so if you want to make sure you're making more profit compared to the choice of just investing this amount of money domestically in US at 2% rate, then we could use the forward contract. Okay, we could use the forward contract to lock in our exchange rate after 90 days. Okay, so we know our profit is certain. Okay, to cover the exchange rate risk that after 90 days, we may lose money if our profit is reduced when we exchange UK pound back to US dollar. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and see some more detailed calculations or explanations here. Okay, all the conditions are still here listed. Okay, first of all, we want to exchange this 800,000 US dollar for British pounds at the spot rate today. Okay, so 800,000 US dollar, we divide it by the UK pound spot rate, 1.6. We have 500,000 pounds, okay, exchanged from the 800 US dollar we have. Okay, so we can invest this 500,000 pounds in the UK market at the higher interest rate, 4%, 90-day interest rate. And after 90 days, our gain would be 500,000 pounds multiplied by 1 plus 4%. So we have 520,000 pounds after 90 days. Okay, then we need to exchange 520,000 pounds back to US dollar. Okay, and if we have purchased a forward contract in the beginning, then after 90 days, we can exchange this 520,000 pounds at the pre-scheduled forward exchange rate on the delivery date negotiated in the forward contract, which is exactly after 90 days. Okay, because we know the 90-day forward rate is 1.6 US dollar. So we can use this 520,000 multiplied by 1.6, which is equal to 832,000 US dollar. Okay, when we exchange pounds back to US dollar, we can use this locked in forward exchange rate. Okay, so now we are not afraid that the exchange rate will decrease. So we're locked in at this rate of 1.6. So we can have 832,000 US dollar as our final gain. Okay, as our ending balance. Okay, if we didn't use forward contract to avoid the exchange rate risk, we could have exchanged this 520,000 pounds to a lower value. So we would make less money in that way. Okay, but by having this forward contract, we're locked in this price, so we're not afraid of the exchange rate to go down anymore. Okay, so our ending balance is 832,000. Our beginning balance is 800,000. So our net profit becomes the difference between these two. So we have 32,000 profit over the 60 days. Okay, and our yield becomes our profits, 32,000 divided by the beginning balance. Okay, remember any yield is the ending balance minus the beginning balance divided by the beginning balance. Okay, which is exactly 4%. Okay, we have this, our yield equivalent to the exchange rate exactly because our spot rate equals to the forward rate. If the forward rate is equal to the spot rate, conducting covered interest arbitrage will yield a return that is exactly equal to the interest rate in the foreign country. Okay, again, we have spot rate equivalent to forward rate. So when exchange our currency twice, okay, when we exchange US dollar to pound in the beginning, and then in the end, we exchange back from pound to US dollar, because we have the same exchange rate at spot and at forward. So we didn't make or lose any money by exchange them twice. So we have exactly the same yield equivalent to investing in UK at 4% interest rate. If one chose to invest domestically instead of doing the covered interest rate arbitrage, okay, if you do not invest in UK and also use forward to cover the exchange rate risk, instead you just invest in US at the rate of 2%, then with this 800,000 capital, you could earn 800,000 multiplied by 1 plus 2%, which is 816,000. So this will bring us a lower profit and a lower yield, which is not as good as what we could have done by using covered interest arbitrage. Okay. Comparison of arbitrage effects. The threat of location arbitrage ensures that quoted exchange rates are similar across banks in different locations. Otherwise, people will arbitrage across banks. The threat of triangular arbitrage ensures that cross-rate exchange rates are properly set. Otherwise, we could do triangular arbitrage. The threat of covered interest arbitrage ensures the forward exchange rates are properly set. Any discrepancy will trigger arbitrage, which should eliminate the discrepancy. Thus, arbitrage tends to allow for a more orderly foreign exchange market. Okay, whenever there's an arbitraging opportunity, because investors can do any of these three arbitrages or even other more arbitrages. So for the market, it's gonna go to equilibrium level and there will not be any price discrepancy. Comparing arbitrage strategies. Location arbitrage capitalizes on discrepancies in exchange rates across locations. Value of pound, is this pound? Yes, quoted in US dollars by a US bank. Value of pound quoted in dollars by a British bank. Okay, you can always compare them. Triangular arbitrage capitalizes on discrepancies in cross-exchange rates. Value of pound quoted in euros, value of pound quoted in dollars, value of euro quoted in dollars. Okay, these three have to be consistent with each other. Otherwise, we can arbitrage. Covered interest arbitrage capitalizes on discrepancies between the forward rate and the interest rate differential. Forward rate of pound quoted in dollars, interest rate differential between US and British interest rates. Okay, we can compare these two and see if we have a chance to do a covered interest arbitrage. By investing in the foreign country using their interest rate, and at the same time by purchasing a forward contract to be locked in a forward rate. Okay, so that's the three arbitraging strategies or cases. In the next video, I'm gonna start talking about interest rate parity.